And here we go again. A little Monday morning market manipulation as we open back up. We're going to get straight on into the update. Please remember to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of our updates. ZachRector.com is the website, current events, financial markets, and how to take advantage of the greatest transfer of wealth in world history. And we're talking XRP versus rigged and manipulated markets. We've been talking about how we're up against the private credit crisis. We're up against the Japan carry trade, all part of a global margin call. We're up against World War III, and some people don't like that I call it World War III. Call it whatever you want. I don't care. It's what we're up against. And it's why we haven't been able to return back to the bull run, is because we got to solve some of these issues. I don't care what you call the issue. I just want us to be able to navigate it safely, securely, and take advantage of the market lows that it has brought. So without further ado, straight on into the update. You already know the deal. It's the third Monday in a row where futures tumble overnight, and then we blast off in the morning with headlines and chatter to start off the day. What was it this time? At 7:04 a.m. Eastern today, which is a couple hours before the market's going to open up, President Trump said, quote, "The U.S. and Iran have had productive discussions to end the Iran war." Now, just 6 minutes later, the S&P 500 surges by 240 points, adding $2 trillion in market cap. Now, 27 minutes later, Iran completely denies all of President Trump's claims and says that there have been no contact with the United States. By 8 a.m. Eastern, the S&P 500 had fallen 120 points, erasing $1 trillion in market cap. That is $3 trillion swing in market cap in 56 minutes just in the S&P 500. Excuse me. Now, we have also seen similar swings in precious metals, gold and silver, back down, and they wiped out a couple trillion of their market cap as well. But this timeline of events right here shows you what happened this morning with President Trump saying it's all going good. Market pumps, adds $2 trillion. Iran comes out, denies all of it. And then the market wipes out $1 trillion of market cap. And we have done this literally 3 weeks in a row. Basically, the entire span of this war, or call it whatever you want, so far, right? This was going to be a few days. Now we've done a few weeks. Are we going to do a few months? And this is the big concern. But President Trump responds to Iran, responding to say that none of that ever took place, by saying that he hopes the U.S. and Iran will meet soon and settle this. He plans to get together with Iran via a phone call, and that Iran would like to make a deal. We would like a deal too. The U.S. has talked to Iran's top respected leaders. He won't name them, but says we want to see no nuclear weapon for Iran. So that is how we're starting off this week. And if you weren't ready, then you weren't able to take advantage of it, like whoever these insiders were. Take a look at it. 5 minutes before Trump's announcement, 1.5 billion notional value of S&P 500 futures are bought in a single clip. Somebody loaded up. And then simultaneously, somebody was dumping 192 million notional of oil futures sold. More than 4 to 6x any other trade size during the market close. Insiders making the move. Now, Adam Cochran, I don't like a lot of what this guy has to say, so I'll just caveat with this. This guy doesn't like Trump. I don't like a lot of what Adam Cochran has to say. He has .eth in the name. There's some history there, and I don't like it. I don't like it at all. And he wants to say that insiders profited from Trump's lies. Once again, I don't care what we call it. And you also have to realize that we're at war. And, involved in war is a little bit of deception. Look over here while we move here. We do a little flank, a little switcheroo. And so I'm not going to, at the end of the day, try to blame Trump for lying and act like he's coordinating this with people that are making a profit. I don't believe that that's happening. As far as Trump feeding the intel and letting them take advantage of it, kind of knowing and being involved at any sort of level like that. President Trump has some battles to fight here. And part of that is misleading the enemy. You say, oh, yeah, talks are going great. We're about to have peace. Right before you hammer them like they've never been hit before, which is what I believe is coming. Or, things escalate, and then out of the blue, we're going to get a peace deal, and we're going to be pumping back off to the races. Are there insiders making moves in the meantime? Absolutely. They did it under the Trump administration. They've done it basically with every single administration, left, right, up, down, it doesn't matter. And guess what the solution is to this? Tokenizing it all. Putting it all on blockchain where it can all be verified, where it can all be transparent, where we can see everybody's plays and moves and who's holding what, who's shorting what. No more naked short selling. And that is the answer to all of this manipulation. See, when you take the power to manipulate our monetary policy from the Federal Reserve, that's step one. When you tokenize all these markets, putting it on blockchain, that's step two. And then you start to look at the use case of blockchain for other utilities, use cases like verifying videos and pictures. We got all this fake imagery being spread. In the age of information being spread in a split second, we still can't verify what's real, what's fake. Blockchain is the answer to a lot of this. And I've always said, when you give the people decentralized currency, when you give them decentralized media, and then you verify voting on blockchain with voter ID, then you can set the people free and maybe eliminate some of the market manipulation that we've seen. I'm not here to fight it. I'm here to understand it and position myself accordingly. That's what I'm here to do. So I'll let you guys comment on all of that in the comments down below. But here's where we're at right now. President Trump is saying we have about 5 days, and he's hoping that we get some peace. He's hoping that we reach an agreement. Just so happens to be a coincidence that Trump's new ultimatum expires in 5 days, just when the market closes. And we've been watching the announcements hit right after the market closed on Friday. We got the same thing, which is why the futures open up down every Sunday. Futures open up, and they're reacting to what Trump said after the market closed on Friday. There's been escalations every single weekend after market close. So the futures gap down when they open up, and then President Trump comes out a couple hours before the market opens to say, it's all going good. But in 5 days, just so happens to be when the USS Tripoli with 2,200 Marines will be in position, and we're sending more than 2,200 Marines. We have a few thousand more than that are actually on the way to the region. So my thesis right now, you guys can let me know in the comments down below where I'm right, where I'm wrong, what you agree with or disagree with. But my thesis is that the climax of this war is about to hit, and that's going to bring in our market lows. And on the other side of that, we can talk about an agreement, the Strait of Hormuz being opened back up and moving forward out of the worst of the war. That doesn't mean that it's going to be wrapped up in a couple weeks. It could still go on for a few months. I'm just talking about the climax. And the United States, along with our allies, I think that we're going to have to hammer them pretty dang hard to be able to open back up that Strait of Hormuz. But that's the situation. How are the markets responding? Well, South Korea halts trading, hitting the circuit breaker 5 minutes. For 5 minutes, they stalled it up after a 5% slide in the Kospi futures. That's the main South Korea stock index. So we're hitting circuit breakers in Korea. This has been like 3-4 times in the past few weeks since this war has started that South Korea's had to hit the circuit breaker on that main index. And so there is so much volatility, such big swings right now. And the stock market and crypto wants to price in that the war is going to be over here shortly. So that's what we're doing this morning. Taking a look at Bitcoin back up to about 71,000 this morning. But like I've been saying the past few weeks, I don't trust these rallies at the start of the week. Until we hit the climax and do what's necessary to open back up the Strait of Hormuz, this war is not even close to being over. We have to get the strait opened up. We're going to have to drop some big ones. So to start off the week, we pump up to 71,000. Guess what we did last week? We pumped up to 76,000. Monday into Tuesday, we hit 76,000 and then come back down. Guess what we did the week before that? 2 big green candles, Monday, March 9th and Tuesday, March 10th, right? And we did the same thing back here too. March 2nd, 3rd, into the 4th that week, We ran up till Wednesday, and then we got brought back down. So here we go again, right? XRP back up to $1.46 this morning. Nice to see. Very nice to see. But do we trust it? Until we break out, and for Bitcoin, I'll go back to Bitcoin. I want to see us break above 78,000. If we break above 78,000 and we've had the climax of the war, then we can talk about the bottom being in and moving up from here. But until we break above 78,000 and we've hit the climax of that war and open back up the Strait of Hormuz, I don't trust these rallies because we've seen dramatic spikes on XRP up to $1.60, and then they wipe us back out down to $1.36. Right? They did it back here, up to $1.47, bring us back down to $1.32. Back in here, back in February, they ran us all the way up to $1.66, back down to $1.27. So I'm not trusting it. I got my buy orders ready. I'm looking across these cryptos that we love. Canton came back down into my levels of support. We've been loving how that one's positioned. HBAR came all the way back down here to 8 cents. Love it. I'm going to be sharing with my Discord group why I just made a move on hype. Now, I did buy it back up here, and so I am currently down as it's come back down, but I'm going to be dollar cost averaging into hype. And a big part of that play is this manipulation that we're seeing, the fact that you can't trade some of these markets 24/7, 365. So a decentralized market for futures on commodities like gold, oil, etc. We need it. Hyperliquid is providing it. It's the largest platform. And if you want to get the full rundown on why I just went in on hype, I'm going to be sharing that with my Patreon and Discord group. So check that out at my website, zachrector.com. A lot of these cryptos already did come back down into my target areas, but I don't think that we're done. XLM already did it. Flare already broke through the bottom level. Look at this. We called it. And just because the timeline got extended, I mean, that's what happens with these things. Nothing's going to be perfect. So we like to give ourselves a range. XDC, same thing, back into my target areas. Okay. And so we'll just continue to watch that. Now we take a look here at the stock market. We're opening up with green candles. But we've done the same thing for stocks. Last week, we opened back up before they flush us back down. The week before that, March 9th, March 10th, open it back up, flush us back down. I mean, this has just been the same rinse and repeat all the way from the top that we hit back in February. Stock market tops out in February, and it just plays this game, stair-stepping all the way back down to fresh lows that we printed on Friday. So, prepare yourself for those lows that are going to come in after the climax of this war. S&P 500 down 10% since the top that we just hit. NASDAQ 100 green candle. S&P 500 green candle, Russell 2000 green candle, Nikkei in Japan green candle, gold back down. Now, why is gold going down? Gold and silver are going down, pricing in the end of the war, the end of the chaos, and the end of the flight to safety. But we also see gold selling off because we're in the liquidity crisis, right? So there's talk of big players in the Middle East having to sell off gold because they're getting hit on oil. Right? The oil is priced very high, but if you can't get it or access it or sell it, then it does you no good. So there's talk of big Middle East players having to sell off gold. I think that we have a lot of players selling off gold because of the private credit crisis, the Japan carry trade, the global margin call, the thoughts of the war being over, gold's being sold off. A buying opportunity looks like it could be presenting itself as silver went all the way down to $61 this morning. Oil on the WTI back down to 87. Went all the way down to 84 this morning. And so oil's back down. But what's interesting is Brent did move back down, but it had been priced at a very steep premium to WTI. This is the worldwide index, Brent, versus WTI, which is the West Texas Intermediate price. And so that discrepancy has been interesting to watch. Brent back down below 100, but will it last? And my answer is no. The pump that you're seeing in the stock market and crypto, not going to last. The gold, silver moving back down along with oil, not going to last. Those are going to spike back up, in my opinion, on the climax of this war, unless we do get some sort of peace agreement. In that case, off to the races, back into the bull run. Let's go have a good time. Our bags are packed. All that we're doing right now is letting all of this chaos, all of this war, all of this rigged market, all this he said, she said, DC dance and the Clarity Act getting stalled out. We're using all of this as an opportunity to load up our bags even further. And on the other side of this, we know what happens. Interest rates have to be slashed. The money printers have to go burr. They have to roll out next waves of stimulus. It's all inflationary. Inflation won't go away, but your asset prices are going to pump. These low prices that we're seeing on some good value assets in crypto and stocks, that's going to go away because they're going to pump and finally start to go towards fundamental value. See, just like they're suppressing and doing the manipulation on the stocks, they're doing it in the same things taking place in crypto. And just like they can manipulate and suppress it and keep it down, they also can juice these markets and set them to new all-time highs, which is exactly what's going to happen and what we're preparing for. So that's the Monday morning update. You guys let me know what you think in the comments down below. And before we check out, I wanted to let you know about our sponsor, iTrustCapital, has rolled out this new product, which I'm so excited about, the Treasury accounts. So many people have opened up an LLC for trading or holding alternative investments or digital assets. If that's you and you're looking to set up a Treasury account for your business, your nonprofit, your trust, an LLC that you have, even if it's your service business or something else that has nothing to do with crypto, right? You can set up this Treasury account with iTrustCapital, start investing in precious metals and digital assets, free institutional grade custody. Guys, there's no reason for you to be paying AUM fees to anybody when we have products like this available, not just from iTrustCapital, but from other providers as well too. So stop paying AUM fees while you're just holding and acquiring these digital assets, waiting on price appreciation. They have the IRA product. So if you want to roll over 401k into an IRA, iTrustCapital has you covered. If you just want to keep assets in free institutional grade custody, they have the premium custody account. And they're about to allow you to withdraw your crypto from that premium custody account as well. So they got the feedback and they said, okay, let's make an adjustment. Here soon, you'll be able to pull out, withdraw in kind from your premium custody account as well. And then they just rolled out this Treasury account, which is fantastic for your business, nonprofit, trust, etc. Start holding precious metals and digital assets on your corporate balance sheet. Love it. When you use my link down below, you'll get a $100 funding bonus. And if you guys could do me a big favor on the way out, if you could like this video, we would greatly appreciate that. Thank you for sharing it out far and wide. And come on back here later today. I'm going to be dropping an exclusive interview with the Ripple-backed AI startup T54. We interviewed their CEO and founder, Chandler Fang. You're not going to want to miss it. They explain why they chose the XRP ledger. Come on back here later tonight. We're going to be running that one. God bless you all. I am your host, Zach Rector. I really appreciate all of the love and support. If you want to support the channel, just remember that you can start by smashing that thumbs up for me, sharing this content far and wide, and everything else is at my website.